So I just came across this article and thought I'd share. Tell me what you think. How hackers can control your phone through missed calls and exposure info, even if you've never clicked on encrypted links. Experts are warning against a new severe threat to policy and data security on smartphones as hackers use tricks such as a missed call to control devices. Victims may be completely unaware that they were exposed to a hack and never even notice that there is suspicious behavior on their phones. The cyber attack uses a technique known as zero-click hack, which does not require the victim to click on an encrypted link to be caught. The hack can be carried out without any voluntary action from the victim, unlike the typical cyber attack where traps are laid out to trick people into clicking on a vulnerable URL or downloading an attachment with embedded malware. The zero-click hack instead takes advantage of flows in your device. It uses these flows to sidestep the data verification generally needed to get into a phone. The targets may not notice anything suspicious on their phone. Bill Marzak, a security researcher at Citizens Lab, told News 18, even if they do observe something like weird call behavior, the event may be transient and not leave any traces of the device on the devices. The shift towards zero-click attacks by an industry and customers already steeped in secrecy increases the likelihood of abuse going undetected. The most infamous of the no-click hacks so far was a breach of WhatsApp in 2019, which took advantage of a flaw in its missed call system. The hack used a missed call to exploit the source code in WhatsApp, allowing the attacker to load spyware between the two devices. Yet users can do nothing to prevent themselves from receiving a missed call, meaning many were left vulnerable. Once the missed call allowed the spyware to be downloaded, it could embed itself deep into a device and run as a background resource. The current trend towards zero-click infection vectors and more sophisticated anti-forensic capabilities is part of a broader industry-wide shift towards a more sophisticated, less detectable means of surveillance. Although this is a predictable technology evolution, it increases the technological chances of facing both network administrators and investigators. Warning issued. While it is still possible to identify zero-click attacks, the technical effort required to identify cases markedly increased, as does the logistical complexity of investigations, he added. As techniques grow more sophisticated, spyware developers are better able to obfuscate their activities, operate unimpeded in the global surveillance marketplace, and thus facilitate the continued abuse of human rights while evading public accountability. Ian Beer, a cybersecurity expert with Google Project Zero, has warned that everyone should realize they are vulnerable. The takeaway from this project could not be no one would spend 6 months of their life just to hack my phone. I'm fine, he told News 18. Instead, it should be one person working alone in their bedroom was able to build a capability which would allow them to seriously compromise iPhone users they'd come into close contact with. He suggests that the larger companies should come together to target the problem for the safety of all consumers. Sharing information with the security community helps enormously in understanding those trade-offs, he said. It's amazing, the hacks out there, the applications, the different ways that people end up losing their information to hackers. People think that they have security. You have a false sense of security. What you have is a controlled environment. Everything you say can and will. I won't finish the sentence. You know how it goes. So, people, that's why it's so important to really just live your life right, because people sneak around thinking they're getting away with stuff and they're not. People think that they're using these encrypted apps and nobody can see. Sorry, yes they can. Network administrators and many, many other people that build these apps don't build them for the reasons you think. Now, if you're someone using benefits and privileges, never mind, I'm not going to go into sovereignty. But you guys, just be aware of the stuff going on around. Don't think that your sneaky activities don't come to light when you're on your phone and you're messaging people at night. Don't think you're the only one reading it. That's all I'm saying.